بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Some exercises about section 2.7 which is about derivatives and rate of change. A curve has equation y equals f of x. Write an expression for the slope of the secant line. Well, the slope of the secant line through the 2 points is has the usual definition slope. It is m between p and q. You can write mpq equals delta y, which is f of x minus f of 3 over x minus 3. Okay, if you want to call it mpq, the slope between p and q. Write an expression for the slope of the tangent line. Well, the slope of the tangent line at P is given by limit x approaches 3, a limit of x approaches 3 of the slope of the secant line. So he said at P, and P is this point. P is 3 and f of 3. So this would be the slope of the tangent line at P. Find the slope of the tangent line to the parabola at this point. So the slope of the tangent line would be limit. I can use this definition. H approaches 0 of f of a plus h. Well, this is a and this is f of a. So it is f of negative 1 plus h minus f of negative 1 f of a over h. So it is limit of, well, f of negative 1 plus h, I replace x by negative 1 plus h. So I have negative 1 plus h to the power 2 plus 3 times negative 1 plus h minus f of negative 1, which is negative 2 over h. So this would be the limit as h approaches 0 of expand negative 1 to the power 2 is 1. H times minus 1 times 2 negative 2h plus h square plus 3 times minus 1 is negative 3 plus 3h minus times minus is plus 2 over h. Now look to 1 plus 2. This is 3 minus 3. So I can cancel them together. And I'll have limit. I can take h as a common factor, or let me write it first. I have h square, and 3h minus 2h is just plus h over h. And now I can take h as a common factor from the numerator. So I'll have h plus 1 over h. When h approaches 0, x cancels with h. If h is 0, then the answer is 1. So this is the slope. This is the slope of the tangent line, 1. Find an equation of the tangent line. Well, the equation of the tangent line is y minus f of a equals f prime of a at x minus a. And the point is negative 1, negative 2. So this is a and f of a. So the equation is y minus minus 2 plus 2. F prime of negative 1, we found it to be 1. Okay. This is in fact f prime of minus 1. This is the slope at minus 1. So it is 1 times x minus minus 1 plus 1. I can solve it for y. So it's x plus 1 minus 2 minus 1. So this is the equation of the tangent line. Find an equation of the tangent line to the curve at the given point. Okay, it is y plus 4 equals f prime of 2 at 2, okay, f prime at 2 times x minus 2. So all what I need to find is f prime of 2. Well, f prime of 2 is the limit. Now I have two definitions. I will use this one. F of x, okay, f of x minus f of 2 over x minus 2 when x approaches 2. Okay, this is the first definition. And the second, I can take x minus 2 as h. All right, so it would be limit x approaches 2. What is f of x? It's x plus 2 over x minus 3 minus f of 2. Well, f of 2 is negative 4. So minus 4 or plus 4 over x minus 2. So I will do it like this. I will take 1 over x minus 2 outside, and I have here x plus 2, x minus 3 plus 4, which I need to add. So I have limit when x approaches 2 of 1 over x minus 2 times. If you use the formula to add two fractions together, this is 4 over 1. Then I have x minus 3 here, and 1 times x plus 2 plus 4 times x minus 3. So it's plus 4x, and 4 times minus 3 is negative 12. So this is limit as x approaches 2 of. Now I can write in the denominator x minus 2 times x minus 3, okay? And in the numerator, I have 4x plus x, that's 5x, and 2 minus 12 is minus 10. Notice that I can take 5 as a common factor from the numerator, and then x minus 2 would be cancelled with x minus 2. And if I replace x with 2, I'll have 5 over 2 minus 3, which is negative 1, and the slope is negative 5. So f prime of 2 is negative 5. So the equation would be y plus 4 equals negative 5 times x minus 2. Or if you solve the equation for y, then y is negative 5x minus 5 times minus 2 plus 10 minus 4 plus 6. So this would be the equation of the tangent line. Of course, you can try the other one, and you must get the same answer. Again, find the equation of the tangent line. So it's y minus 2 equals f prime of negative 1 times x minus minus 1 or plus 1. And we need to find f prime of negative 1. I'll also use the same definition. So it's limit f of x minus f of negative 1 over x minus negative 1 when x approaches negative 1. So it's limit when x approaches negative 1 of f of x is square root of 1 minus 3x minus f of negative 1, which is 2, over x plus 1. Well, if I replace x by negative 1, I'll have 1 plus 4, 1 plus 3, 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 over 0. So I have nothing here to factor. So I'll multiply by the conjugate of the numerator. And multiplying u minus v times u minus v, I'll get u square minus v square. And here I have x plus 1 times square root of 1 minus 3x plus 2. Notice that in the numerator I have 1 minus 4, this is negative 3. So negative 3x minus 3, I can take negative 3 as a common factor, and I'll have x plus 1 in the numerator. Please check it. Okay, this is 1 minus 4 minus 3. If you multiply now, you have negative 3x minus 3. When you take minus 3 as a common factor, you will get plus 1 here. I have x plus 1, and I have square root of 1 minus 3x plus 2. So these two cancels, and now you can change x by 1, replace x by 1. So minus 3, there is a problem here, of course. Of course, 1 is a mistake because 1 minus 3 would be negative. I realized that. So here it's not 1. X is approaching negative 1. So 1 minus 3 times minus 1, 1 plus 3, that's 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, and that's the slope. So the equation of the tangent line is y minus 2 equals f prime of negative 1 is negative 3 over 4 times x plus 1. And taking 2 to the other side, I'll have negative 3 over 4x minus 3 over 4 plus 2, which is 8 over 4. So minus 3 over 4 plus 8 over 4, that would be 5 over 4. And this would be the equation of the tangent line. Find the slope of the tangent line to this curve at the point x equals a. So x equals a, he needs the slope of the tangent line. So he's asking about f prime of a. F prime of a has two definitions. I will use this one. Okay, it is f of x minus f of a. Maybe I started to like this definition. Anyway, I can use both over x minus a. So its limit as x approaches a, f of x is 2 square root of x. F of a is 2 square root of a over x minus a. Well, I'll do the following here. I can take 2 as a common factor, of course, from the numerator. And I can multiply by the conjugate. Of course, if you replace x by a, you will get 0 over 0. But I can factor x minus a into square root of x minus square root of a times square root of x plus square root of a using difference of two squares and dealing with x as square root of x all to the power 2 and square root a is square root of a all to the power 2. Or you can multiply by the conjugate, you'll reach the same answer. And now I can replace x by a, so I'll have 2 in the numerator, and square root of a plus square root of a would be 2 square root of a. So the slope would be 1 over square root of a. find equations of the tangent lines to the points 1, 2, 9, 6. The same question. So 1, 2, the equation of the tangent line would be y minus 2 equals f prime at 1 of 1. So I have f prime of a, so f prime of 1 would be 1 over square root of 1. I replace a by 1 and it would be 1. So I have 1 times x minus 1. So taking 2 to the other side, it's y equals x minus 1 plus 2, that's plus 1. So this is the first tangent line. The second one, y minus 6, using the point 96, equals. Now what is the slope? I need f prime of 9. I replace a by 9. It is 1 over square root of 9. So it's 1 over 3. So 1 over 3 times x minus 9. I will write it y equals 1 over 3x, and minus 9 over 3 is negative 3 plus 6, so it's positive 3. So these are the equations of the tangent, the two tangent lines. Use definition 4 to find f prime of a at the given number. I guess definition 4 is the one I'm using now, which is to find f prime of 6, f prime at a, and a is 6. It is x approaches a, f of x minus f of a over x minus a. So a here is 6. I have f of x, which is 4x, square root of 4x plus 1 minus f of 6. Well, f of 6 would be 4 times 6, 24, plus 125. Square root of 25 is just 5 over x minus a, which is 6. Now, if I replace x by 6, I'll have 0 over 0. So I will multiply by the conjugate, which is square root of 4x plus 1 plus 5 over square root of 4x plus 1 plus 5. So I'll have the limit as x approaches 6 of multiply u minus v times u plus v. I have 4x plus 1 minus 25, 5 squared, over x minus 6 times the square root of 4x plus 1 plus 5. So I have here 4x minus 24. And if I take 4 as a common factor, minus 24 divided by 4 is minus 6. So these two would be cancelled. And I can now replace x by 6. So I'll have 4 in the numerator. And 4 times 6, 24 plus 1, 25. Square root of 25 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. So this slope is 2 over 5. F prime of 6 is just 2 over 5. Use equation 5 to find f prime of a. I believe equation 5 is uh, if I remember well, I think definition 4 is not this one. Anyway, I will use both, all right? So f prime of 6 using the other definition is the limit when h approaches 0 of f of a plus h, which is 6 plus h, minus f of a, which is 6 over h. Now f of 6 plus h would be square root of 4 times, and I replace x by 6 plus h plus 1 minus f of 6. F of 6 is 5, I believe. Yeah, 5. Square root of 25. Okay. Over h. So I will have limit when h as h approaches 0 of. Now 4 times 6 is 24 plus 1 is 25 plus 4h. If you replace h by 0, you will get 0 over 0. So I will multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate of the numerator. So I will have limit as h approaches 0 of. Well, this is not like this. No. Square root of this. Okay. Multiply the two numerators. U square will be 25 plus 4h minus v square would be 25 over h times square root of 25 plus 4h plus 5. 25 cancels with 25. And you can also notice that h now cancels with h. So I'll have 4 in the numerator and in the denominator square root of 25 plus 4h plus 5. And now I can replace h by 0. I'll have 4 0 times means 0 0. So square root of 25 is 5 plus 5 is 10. And the slope is 2 over 5. Same. So equation 5, I believe it is this one. Okay, this is limit when x approaches 3, f of x minus f of 3 over x minus 3. F of 3 is 9 over 9, that's 1. As I always do, I'll take 1 over x minus 3 outside. And now I'll add these two fractions. So I'll have x plus 6 here, x squared times 1 minus 1 times x plus 6. So it's minus 1 times x negative x, and minus 1 times 6 is negative 6. And factoring the numerator, I'll have x minus 3 times x plus 2. Negative 3x plus 2x is negative x, and negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So these two would be cancelled. And I can replace x by 3, so I'll have 5 over 9. Let me also try to do it using the other method. Limit h approaches 0, f of 3 plus h minus f of 3 over h. So to find f of 3 plus h, I guess this would be longer, but it's okay. I replace x by 3 plus h. And f of 3, we have found that f of 3 is 1 over h. So I will have limits when h approaches 0. I will write 1 over h outside like this. And I'll add these two fractions. I have 3 plus 6, that's 9 plus h. And then 1 times this. And I'll expand it. So I'll have 3 squared 9. 3 times h times 2, 6h plus h squared minus 1 times this. Remember, this is 9 plus h. So minus 1 times 9 is minus 9. And minus 1 times h is minus h. 9 cancels with 9. And I'll have h squared plus 6h minus h plus 5h. And there is 1 over h outside. And now when I take h as a common factor from the numerator, so I can cancel it with the h outside. And now I can replace h by 0 and have 5 over 9, which is the same answer. Find an equation with the tangent line to the graph of this function, y equals b of x. So instead of f of x, he wrote b of x. At x equals 6, so this is a. b6, this is f of 6 or b of 6, 0. f of a, okay. f prime is negative half. So actually, y minus f of a or f of 6 or b of 6, 0. Now f prime of a or f prime of 6 or b prime of 6, that's the slope. X minus a or 6. So that's the equation of the tangent line. Negative half times minus 6 is positive 3. That's it. Thank you very much and enjoy working with derivatives.